What's going on, boxing fam? Subscribe or die trying. So ESPN is starting to release a little more of this long interview or hangout that Stephen A. Smith had with Floyd Mayweather. Here's an interesting clip here.
You've never thought about the possibility of losing? You never fathom in your mind that there's a possibility at any time in 47 fights that you could lose?
Absolutely not. I was born a winner. I'm going to win. May 2nd, I'm going to win.
And you've treated every fighter the same?
Yep.
What did you think about Pacquiao saying that he was more concerned about Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, and Antonio Margarito more than he was about Floyd Mayweather?
I'm glad. And I want him to approach it just like that.
You what?
I want him to approach it just like that. Because the same motherfucker that kicked this Marquez, you see what I did to him. I want him to approach it like he's not nervous.
I saw something different at that press conference. You were relaxed.
You want me to be honest?
You were like, I'm waiting because I know.
Yeah, Floyd's getting a little hype here. Finally some shit talking. But I tell you what, the one thing he said about how he never feels he's going to lose, that's like something I tell people in daily life. And they say, because, for the confidence that I have, I said, I just always think I'm going to win. I never feel I'm going to lose something, ever. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to win. Sometimes you end up losing, but when you go into anything with that mentality of that you never feel that you can lose, like the possibility of losing doesn't even enter your mind, things turn out a little different. Now, that's not to say that Manny doesn't think the same way, because he probably does also. But, it's just, we're just talking about what Floyd is saying. So it's pretty interesting. So, Floyd's saying that it doesn't even cross his mind. And then the part of, Floyd reacting to when Manny says that he was more concerned about De La Hoya and more concerned about Margarito and Cotto than he is Floyd Mayweather. Now, maybe he was more concerned about being, knocked out, maybe, because, they're physically bigger than Floyd. But when he said that he was just more concerned, I hope he wasn't talking about winning or losing the fight. Because Margarito, Cotto, and De La Hoya are not Floyd Mayweather. That's one thing that's a fact. And they're all except for Margarito. They're all great fighters in their own right, but they are not Floyd Mayweather. And I hope he doesn't get that misconstrued. But here, let me play a little more for you guys.
Oh, I saw something different. I know something. You looked at that brother like,
Yeah.
you done jumped yourself into something.
I looked at him in his face and I was like, man, this boy must don't know. I ain't nothing to with. He must don't know. I said he must don't know. I ain't nothing to with. And he can look in my eyes and know I ain't nothing to with. He know. He's with the truth. He know I'm real.
You think he knows?
Oh, he know. I don't want to just win. I believe in my skills. I want to do it in such a beautiful fashion. I want to do it I want to do it with such class and such grace.
What does that mean? I want to know what that means.
I want my inside game flawless. I want my outside game flawless. Because there's been times where I beat fighters, and I beat them, and I got the victory. You know what? But I wasn't impressed.
It sounds like you're talking knockout. It wouldn't sound like me.
One thing about Pac, he ain't gonna go in survival mode like a lot of other guys do when they face Floyd Mayweather. He's not gonna go in survival mode. That's what we do know, Chuck.
Yeah. It's getting close. But I like what I'm hearing. And he's right. Roy Jones said the same thing. Pac is not gonna go on survival mode. He's not gonna go on survival mode. If they fight, Pac in that sense, Manny Pacquiao is like Ricky Hatton. He's gonna make you knock him out, or he's gonna knock you out. He's not gonna stop coming. So if you ain't prepared for that, you in for a long night. I remember when I was watching the first Morales fight, that Morales won. But during that fight, especially after Pac got cut, and you could tell the cut was affecting him. And I'm thinking, oh, Morales is about to take over. Because Pac got cut. He's kind of on the defensive at that time for maybe like a minute. But after that, he went right back in the normal Pac like he wasn't cut. And they went back to a back and forth matchup where I thought once he got cut that, and just his initial reaction, I said, oh, yeah, it's over for Pac. Morales is about to take over this fight. Now, Morales ended up winning, but that was still a back and forth matchup throughout the entire fight. Pac did not stop coming. He had the intestinal fortitude to just suck it up, forget about the cut, and keep coming strong. Where if Morales would have slipped if he'd have slipped off his game he'd have been in trouble. So the one thing about this, it looks like Floyd recognizes that. Even though you keep hearing, Manny is the smaller guy and he hasn't knocked anybody out in 9 years or whatever, that's obviously an exaggeration. But Floyd's not taking him lightly. And I've heard a lot of fighters, they go into the fight, every time they see Pac, they before the fight, they see him and they talk about just how small he is and they don't see what he could do to them because he's so small and he's so this. And the next thing you know, they're getting up off the canvas. So it doesn't look like Floyd is underestimating Pacquiao's speed and power and his intestinal fortitude as a fighter. But another thing that was interesting is just the way Floyd said he wanted to win the fight. Not that he just wanted to win, that he wanted to win impressively. Like he wants to put on a perfect performance. He said he wanted his inside game on point. So it looks like he's coming to put on a show May 2nd. And it's not to say that he hasn't come to put on a show any other fight. But he has a lot of passion in his voice for this. This seems pretty interesting. I want to leave a link in the description box so you guys can check this video out yourself. It's 4 minutes and 19 seconds of footage that they have, so you guys can check it out if you haven't already seen it. Now, this is my first seeing it. I had seen clips like this. They showed a clip of when he says the comment about Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson. I've seen that clip on ESPN, but I haven't seen this whole section here. So let me know what you think in the comments section. They'll be pretty. It's gonna be a good fight, y'all. It's gonna be a good fight. I don't think anybody's taking anything for granted at all. Like they said, Manny's on a spiritual mission, and Floyd's on a legacy mission to prove all the doubters wrong. This is gonna be the immovable object versus the immovable force, or however they say that. So this is gonna be some shit, and it looks like Floyd is dialed in to put on something impressive, and we'll see if he's able to follow through. Because you could be dialed in all you want to, it doesn't mean you're gonna be able to follow through. Because if you dialed in, the other one's dialed in. It's kind of like the Super Bowl. Everybody's prepared during the Super Bowl, but somebody gotta lose. But I don't think I've seen this intensity and focus in Floyd ever. Even when he, even in the other biggest fight of his career versus Oscar De La Hoya, he wasn't sounding like this. He sounds like he has a point to prove, and he sounds like he obviously feels he's gonna prove it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Subscribe or die trying. Get familiar. Peace.
You once told me you don't even study films on God. You just go to race. That's right. Does that apply to Pacquiao?
I'm not watching him. He better be watching me. But guess what? There's 5 ways to beat him. There's no way to beat me. All I said is one thing. Choose the weight class. You put him in front of me, I'll beat him.